Hi guys, welcome back to Railroads Online. Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest update for Railroads Online. Uh, Yesterday we got a major update called the Winter Update, which included a new map, some new rolling stock, new locomotive, a handful of bug fixes, and I do have the changelog pulled up. I finally got my internet back, yay hey. So we're going to scroll through and check out what all's new in this major update. As is painfully obvious, right off the bat, right here in front of us, we got probably the part that most people are going to care about if they watch my video. They want to know what new locomotive was added, and this is what was added: the Denver and Rio Grande Westerns early version of the K27, the compound version of the K27. A lot of the K27s started out in this form with these slope back tenders, and they're referred to as a compound as actually have a high and low pressure set of cylinders, which you can see right here when we're facing them. So, wasn't the most successful, wasn't the most desirable for the Rio Grande, so these got rebuilt later on in life, as is painfully obvious with the two surviving K27s. These locomotives saw a lot of rebuilding throughout their years, and the two K27s actually survived today in heavily modified form. They do not look anything like this anymore. But it is really cool to actually see the early compound version of the K get some love and attention. It is oftentimes an overlooked variant in favor of the big surviving Ks that we see on the Durango and Silverton and the Cumberson Tultic today. So, yeah. And then, of course, new map. So, here we are on, and what is this called? Aurora Falls, I believe is what they call it. It's a new mountainous map that they say is Alaskan themed. So it takes inspiration from Alaska. Now, with that being said, it does leave the new rolling stock is kind of an odd choice for the map, as it's kind of the theme that they went with was Alaskan Gold Rush. So they actually we got some new industries, an entirely new industry lineup, which is for gold industry, so gold mine, dredge, ore, all that fun stuff. And of course the Alaskan themed map, and weather dynamics. So snow, obviously. Snow's a big thing with Alaska, and snow has been brought back to the game. It is a feature in the weather settings, and if you set your track up correctly, it apparently will actually build up snow. It is a dynamic snow, so it will build up snow on the tracks, and there's actual use for the snowplows now. You'll actually have to use the snowplow to maintain your railroad. I have not got to test that feature out yet. I did play around a little bit with the update yesterday. As is obvious, I've got a little bit of rail laid out so that we can play around with this. I obviously had to modify this save file so that I could paste the K down, so that I can tinker with the K and see what it's like. But yeah, so let me pull up the changelog here so that we can see what's new and what's cool. So new content added: the Alaska themed map, which is partially snow covered, and one of my favorite parts, added sound reverb to the map. So what that means is down in like some valleys and canyonways and whatnot, it'll actually reverberate the sound. The chef sounds and the whistle and whatnot will echo off of the canyon walls and whatnot. So That's a really cool thing. I've had a lot of fun with that feature, playing around with it, just because the whistle sounds so stinking cool in the valleys. Um, Added the snow accumulation effect, so that's what I was just talking about earlier. So we got snow weather. This is actually, for those of you that have been around for a minute, whenever winter came around, what we were getting was just the map would change from fall colors to snow covered. And they didn't do that this year, and this is why. So they added in an entire snow effect. So we get different snow weather settings, like snow, heavy snow, blizzard, and it'll melt depending on the time and whatnot, and it'll actually build up on the rails, as you see. It builds up on the rails, and you'll have to use Westside Lumber plow to clean your rails. Now, they say they're adding more plow types in the future. They only specifically mention the Westside Lumber plow for this, so I assume it's the only one that you can use, which, if that's the case, they kind of missed a few opportunities, because there are a couple locomotives that already have snow plows on them, like the first cookie, the first Cook 280, or 260, the one that's a wood burner. It's got very obvious snow plow on the front of it. So I don't see why they wouldn't have made that able to clear snow, or maybe light snow, I don't know. But now, granted, this is just me assuming that you can't use it. I'm literally just reading off of the chainsaw here. But the effect is also available on Pine Valley and Aurora Falls, so I assume it's not on the third map, the desert map. Snow is removable. Added new rail types, so all existing rail types now have a snow ballast and snow covered rails. You can pick these when you start construction of new rails. Regular dirt ballast will change over snow covered once you change the weather, so that's a handy thing. The regular track that you place, so like this right here, this will become snow covered if it starts to snow. So perma-snow covered looks best on Aurora Falls. That's a bit of a misleading term, given where we're sitting right now. So this map, unlike the last map update, where they gave you the ability to place industries and then didn't place any industries on the map, this map actually comes with preset industries. The snow-covered tracks look great up here, where it stays snow-covered. Not so much down here, which we'll look at. We'll do a fly around of the map, kind of show some of the different spots. Added the DNRG Class 125, which is the very early variation of the K27, built by Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1903. It's a 282. It's the first 282 in game, so that's cool. 28,000 pounds of tractive effort and has 5 paint choices. Fun. Added the DNRG high side gondolas. Added a side dump ore car. A Denver and South Park mail baggage car. That's another one that's a bit of an odd choice. So the mail baggage car is to, well, as it says, to carry refined gold. Which, I mean, yeah, okay, but on the other hand, I feel like box cars could have done just as well, given that this is the only use the baggage cars have, and typically baggage cars go with passenger trains, and passenger cars still have no use at all in the game, but, okay, whatever. And then, of course, the new industry chain, which is the gold line. Gold mine, dredge, stamp mill, gold smelter, and the Railway Express Agency for unloading gold ingots. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show any of these off. I was kind of hoping that this was a new chain, like, on its own, or, maybe had a couple prerequisites, like having to carry logs or something, but it's not. So you will actually have to have all of your base industries connected and in operations, because you will need tools and iron beams and whatnot from smelter, ironworks, and all that stuff. So you'll have to go through the struggle of all of the old original industries first before you even get to think about playing around with the gold line. I don't like that personally. I kind of think that's a bit of a dickish move, considering a lot of people have been waiting on some new industries for a long time. And then when they gave us new industries with the last map, you could kind of, you know, play around with them. But this one, you can't play around with. You have to go through everything before you can start playing with the gold. So, oh well. That's just my thoughts. Maybe some of you guys like it anyway. Cool. Quality of life. Added new construction and UI. Now, I played around with this. I don't like it. I hate it. Truth be told. I like the old UI for construction. Maybe it's me. I thought it played better. I don't like the new one. And I will give fair warning. I had to go through and reset all of my controls. So this UI, I don't know why, but it shows what buttons do what, which I'll try to show that in a second, but it shows what buttons do what, and then they didn't work. And I figured out I had to go through and basically reset all of those buttons. So fair warning, to make the UI work, at least for me, I had to reset everything. And bug fixes. Bug fixes are always a welcome thing. Unfortunately, the multiplayer thing's a bit of a lie. I tried to play with a buddy. Still, it's, lack of a better term, it's garbage to try to play in multiplayer. Take that as you will. I find it very frustrating. It's called Railroads Online. It's literally the name, and I can't play with people. I tried to play multiplayer on one of the other maps, and that I've already got developed, and freight cars still bungee cord all over the map and randomly derail, and frame rates drop down to nothing with one other person in the map. So take the popcorning effect as you will, but me personally, I never played multiplayer long enough to notice it to begin with, because frankly, multiplayer has never been stable enough for us to play. Fixed the engine shed doors displaying water level. This is another thing that I personally never had. I never noticed it. Apparently some people did. So they fixed that. Fixed an issue where you couldn't use W and S to operate a locomotive while in the third-person UI. Again, I actually did not know you could do that to begin with. I never ever used the keyboard to operate whenever using the UI. I just clicked on the sliders, but whatever. Fixed an issue with re-railing, carrying momentum when trying to re-rail. That is wonderful. So I actually have experienced, where you place a car back down and it somehow already be rolling. That's nice. Fixed an issue when having a controller plugged in, it would override mouse controls. Not something I've ever experienced. I don't play with controller. Fixed missing water tower animation. Again, something I never knew. Fixed an issue with telegraph poles. They no longer double up on save loads. They also no longer have gaps after save loads. And fixed an issue with the sandhouse having inverted spout movement. And that is the extent of the changelog. So that is pretty good bit. English. Pretty good bit to it. It's a fairly hefty update. So we'll go through it. Take a look at it. I don't know why it's being this way. Come on, go away, map. There. So first off, let's go over our locomotive. I know that's what everybody wants to see. It is still mouse click on the headlight, doesn't get a generator. Some wacky reason. setting might kind of weird. Why? Dark yet. I don't like the dark yet. So overall, it's a pretty good looking locomotive. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick it like it's a simulator, because this game is not a simulator by any means. But it looks pretty good. Yeah, I appreciate the detail. It's got some nice detail. One thing that does piss me off a good bit, honestly, is knuckle couplers were not added. Yet we very clearly have a release bar. Normally you yank this up, this would be attached to a chain that goes to the link, the pin in the knuckle couplers, and it would uncouple. Knuckle couplers are modeled in this game already. They were added like a while ago, model-wise, and I can even show them in, oh heck, I think it's one of the East Broad Top models, I think, if I remember correctly, that does have knuckle couplers, and they still have yet to play around with knuckle couplers. They continue playing with the link of pins, but then they add models like that, so a little bit frustrated at that they still have avoided knuckle couplers. Typical things that you can play with, you know, the water, of course the tail, the reverse light, yeah, there we go, marker lights. It is a pain in the butt to hook the tender to the locomotive, because your hitbox, it's way under here. It's not where it should be. So, fair warning there. It is an absolute pain in the butt to put this thing together. Brake. Fuel. It is a coal burner. So this is the most expensive locomotive in the game now at $20,000, and it's also a very late locomotive. You will need to have coal mine set up to be able to use this thing, and everything associated with coal mine. Windows, doors, latches, roof. Nice new whistle, different from the typical hooters that we get. Press her back up. I don't know what I was thinking with that one. Auxiliary brakes. Make it move a little bit. Still managed to break under. Oh well, whatever. Like I said, it's a pain in the butt to latch together because it does not line up right. I don't get this twin smoke thing either. Like, we got this little bit of smoke here that's coming out of the side, and then whenever you over throttle, you have to. But the initial chuff sounds are the same. They actually sound really cool, I think. They're not the worst. I don't know if they're in line with how a compound would actually sound, considering it's not technically a two-cylinder locomotive. It's more than one cylinder, but whatever. However, the at-speed chuff sounds are unfortunately the same chuff sounds that all the other locomotives already have. A bit sad there, but oh well. What can you do? Hop out of it. Grab our tender. And I will hop into the hop into the roundhouse and show the different paint schemes and whatnot. Valve gears modeled inside the frame. It is pretty cool. Kind of sad that they haven't played with anything with Walsh's valve gear yet, besides Mason Bogey. Fairly quick locomotive. Go look at everything else. So let's hop into the roundhouse here. So here's our K series, or class 125. I'm sorry. I have one of those actually people jump into my comments in a minute. It's actually a class 125. It's a compound 27. It is an either or. I really do not care. But anywho, so nice variety of smokestacks. The cabbage stack looks comical. It almost looks like a sugarcane locomotive. Very nice selection of headlights. I do kind of kick out of these. These are these look to be electric headlights. Like this one. So the last three headlights look to be electric. I mean, there's very much a bulb in there, but it doesn't get a generator, which is something that I know they know how to do, because if I remember correctly, the Heisler gets that option, the Climax gets that option, where if you swap to an electric headlight, it adds a generator. This one doesn't, so that's kind of odd. Paint schemes, worn black. I love this is black with the silver trim and whatnot, and then the green, and this kind of wornish. Yeah, don't know what you call that one, but worn, weathered, maybe Russian iron. I don't know what that's supposed to be underneath there, but so pretty neat. Ah, yeah, see, knuckle couplers. And we still haven't done anything with knuckle couplers. Ah, see, the cookie's got a snowplow here. Again, like I said, I haven't played with it to see if it actually will or won't plow snow using its own plow. I would hope so, considering that is very much a snowplow, but matter of fact, I think it's, yeah, that's the only one that has a snowplow, but let's see. The Westside Lumber Company ore car. It's pretty cool. It's got some tiny little bitty wheels on it. Honestly, it pairs up nice with the sugarcane stuff. It's kind of funny. Now, I do know a lot of people are upset, and I do 100% understand where they're all coming from. A lot of people are upset that all of the hoppers weren't updated to be able to carry the gold ore. Um, I get it. Like, there's really no excuse. There's really no reason that this high side gondola can't carry gold ore, but the side dump car can. Outside of them essentially forcing you to buy a different car, but there's really no reason. But oh well. So we got yellow, we got black. They have this really, really cool worn out. I kind of like that. I think that looks pretty cool. Oxide reddish. And it's kind of worn yellow. So that's the new hopper. The Rio Grande hopper, or gondola, the high side gondola. Pretty cool. Kind of entertaining. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, the lettering doesn't quite fit for it to say actually Rio Grande, but oh well. It's a bit entertaining. That brace covers the R perfectly. Oh well. Pretty much two paint schemes, and then a weathered version of those two paint schemes. So. Different, cool. Let's see, what other cars did we get? Went over the locomotive, high-sided gondola, the dump car, and the baggage car. Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, baggage car. Does have modeled interior and whatnot. I guess I could buy one of these. I've got the money. Two paint schemes. So either the green or this kind of oxide red, which I believe you get these options for the coach. Not really the same red though. Oh well. Interesting. Steam sounds from the handcart. Yeah, screw it, why not? Number, I don't know. 899. Oh. Why not? We'll just buy one and we can actually see it up close in person. Back to Freight Depot. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of the mail side, the mail baggage side. I can't open the side doors. Matter of fact, it just shows it's got this constant freight unload. I don't like that. It's kind of frustrating. Especially, in the caboose, you can throw coal in the fire, or wood in the fire, something like that. I know it's a stupid thing to point out, but it's kind of a irk. Oh. Open this side door here. Baggage side. See, this whole freight thing tries to... I gotta play with the door to get to the right spot for the door to open. Yeah, there it is. Kind of neat. I don't entirely see the point to it, but that's cool. Still cool. Credit where it's due. And then, yeah. Seed pallets, that's from the cattle update. I believe that covers all the rolling stock. So let's take a look around the map. So we'll cheese it a little bit so we can fly around the map. I don't know. Matter of fact, this is one of the new industries, which is a dredge. Glorified steamboat that dug up crap out of the ground. And you'd sift through it and find stuff that you were looking for, like gold. So, kind of in the center of the map, so I guess we could kind of pick any direction and go from there. So we'll go up here to the more entertaining side of life, the snow. Can't have Alaska without having snow. Now, I will say, from my experience with this map so far, it is a bit deceptive in the bare places. So where the ground looks bare and it doesn't look like there's a lot of trees. It can look flat, but it's definitely not. And it can make for a bit of a challenge for laying track and whatnot. Just in my experiences so far. Spots like this that are up in the mountains. That looks like it'd make for a fun scene. Looks like it's set up for that to begin with. Track to come up and go around. You got this fairly large lake here, which is pretty typical of their or their map designing. Gotta have a large lake. Of course, there's our logging camp out, or our sawmill out by it. We got a little bit high. We'll drop down. Back up again. See, places like this where it looks flat, but it definitely ain't. It's kind of entertaining that they didn't choose to put an industry over here, though. Almost seems like a good corner to have one. Now, you can still, as you can see, place up to 3 of each industry, I believe it is, so you can definitely play around with the industry placement. I know one of my commenters said that it's almost a struggle with figuring out where there's a good place to put some of these industries, though. Like I had weirdly enough, I found it kind of odd coming up here to the logging camp because, as I said, it looks deceptively flat. It looks very deceptively easy. It's really not. It's definitely not flat. This is starting really right there. This is pretty much a 4% grade all the way down. Which, I mean, it gives you a challenge, without a doubt. But it is definitely something that'll catch you off guard when you first start route building here. We'll go out this way. Certain spots are kind of insinuated that you're supposed to go that way, like this right here. I mean, it's kind of obvious for the oil field right there for a main line to come down through here. There's a mine over there. You'd pretty much go down that way, probably wrap around, come back up, go up that valley there. Come out to these little puddles here. Now, I do kind of get a kick out of the dredge for this particular reason. They put the dredge out here on a pond. How did the dredge get here to begin with, though? I would assure you that it did not come down that river. I kind of feel like that they should have taken this lake and either added a fairly decent sized river, which I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done so yet anyway. There's a lot of fun potential with a river to have, you know, some fun screenshots and whatnot, but that's another thing that a lot of people think of when they think of Alaska is, you know, the cool winter melted ice rivers, fast flowing, whatnot. And steamboats were a pretty big part of the economy in Alaska during the gold rush era, so kind of feel like that's a missed opportunity. But again, as I was saying about the dredge just doesn't make a lot of sense to just be a puddle. That's a full-blown steamboat, and you got it out here in a puddle. Now, I was a little bit confused by it sitting here in this little tiny puddle here by itself. Apparently, this is absolutely normal. I didn't know that. Cool story. This is absolutely normal for these things to just kind of dig their way through. Starting from a decent-sized lake or river or whatnot, they'd come in and start digging through, like right there. I mean, it looks like something like that, like it dug its way through here, and then as time goes on, the water will rise lower, and it'll just continue digging on. So it is definitely an odd sight, but weirdly enough, it does fit. However, I'm still kind of irked that there's no way for this boat to have gotten here. I know it's a dumb thing to point out, but that's just me. I'm not going to bother too much going out in that area because a lot of that area looks more or less like the maps that we've already seen. It's kind of mountainous, foresty areas. It's more of the snow area like this that it's really quite cool. Again, deceptively not flat. But a lot of fun potential. Yes, this is just kind of pitiful. It's just a little stream. I wish they would have added in a full-blown river. I feel like a river at this point is kind of a need for this game. A cool-ass river scene. Like, come on, there's a big lake over there. There's a pond over here. Why couldn't it just be a full-blown river stretching between the two all the way through? I don't know, dumb thing to point out, but whatever. Weird things like that get me. Our mines all the way up here. But I believe that's kind of the extent of our map. It's a standard size map, but it's got a lot of potential for some pretty cool scenes and scenery. So let's go ahead and drop down to this open area here. Let's fall. Plop. Deceptively not flat. So let's check out these industries. So we got Railway Express Agency, Gold Smelter, Stamp Mill, Gold Mine, and Dredge. So let's check out the Railway Express Agency first. So it's more or less a train station. Something cool. The reason I wanted to place it down real quick is these apparently have interiors. I don't know why you don't have to open the door on that side, but you can over here. You can open this door, and there's no floor. Kind of funny, but you know, what can you do? Have a passenger sitting area. I assume maybe a ticket counter area. I don't know. A gold safe. Can't go in there. Can't go in there. Come on up here. Kind of a freight house. Another gold safe. And then you just phase through the... Oh, hi. Fella sitting out here. Ready to go. Waiting on a train. That's kind of entertaining that some of the doors on this side, I guess. What an odd little side room. The hitbox for the door is inside the door. How interesting. But anywho, that is cool. At least they started modeling interiors. You know, we'll give credit where it's due. We finally starting to see some interiors to play around with. So, oops. Facilities, I believe. Oh, there we go. So, it's the Railway Express Agency. Back to our industries. Gold smelter. It's gonna be pretty similar to the iron smelter. Nothing wildly different. That looks like a chute that's meant to dump into something, like a coal car, but oh well. Well, hey, he's sitting over here too. Interesting. It says crane for loading, but I don't see the crane. Oh well. Refined gold. Gold ingots is what it produces. It's kind of an entertaining touch having the chair leaning. I assume there's no interior to this one. Run all the way around to here. We got coal. I don't see anything saying drop off. I would assume you have to drop off more than coal here, because there would be no point in digging up the gold. Unless the refined gold is your drop off. I don't know. That is for you guys to find out. Stamp mill. I know this was another one that they said they did an interior for. Poured wood, fine gold, coal. Water. There's water way up there. gold mine. Again, that's going to be pretty similar to the other mines. Nothing wild. Definitely meant to be attached to the side of a mountain or a hill or something. If you get gold ore, drop off coal, gotta drop off beams, rails, and tools. And last but not least, the dredge. Now, I've heard a lot of people complaining about how this cannot be placed on water. You gotta do some funkery to place it down, so heads up for anybody trying to set up their own scenery or industries. But gotta have some tools, gotta have coal, steel pipes, and it'll unload gold ore. Fortunately, there's not really an interior to it. But it is a cool thing to look at. It is a cool model. Alright, so we've gone through the locomotive and the rolling stock, we've gone through the new industries. I don't really think there's any new props or anything. Obviously I didn't see any in the listing, so yay. Yeah, I believe that's it. I don't think there's really anything else to go over. So come back over here now so that I can end my video where I need to be left off at. So, anyways, there it is, guys, the latest and greatest update for Railroads Online, the winter update. It's pretty cool. Mixed feelings about it. I like the map. There's a lot of small, as you guys heard me, there's a lot of small things that hurt me. Small things add up, so I'd say it's about a half and half. You know, I like the map. I think the map's pretty cool. I like the rolling stock. I like the new industries. I mean, overall, I like the stuff that's been added. I just don't like the way a lot of stuff has been added. I mean, I don't like, hey, the knuckle coupler is still kind of crappy. I know it's a dumb thing to get, but come on, guys. You teased it. Oh, the East Broad Top Locomotive came out a while ago, and you didn't play with it, so there's that. Don't like the new UI. But other than that, I don't think there's really anything to go over, so yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely go check it out if you're still into Railroads Online. I know they lost a lot of followers. I still think it's pretty neat for what it is, so if you're still into it, you're still playing around with it, definitely check out the update. I think it's pretty cool. I like the map. Hopefully we still see some pretty cool updates like this continue coming out. Yeah. Alright, we'll see you guys next time.